Welcome to the Wayne Breezie channel, host of the Wayne Breezie Show. I'm here to deliver to you great NFL content. You see the team, hit that sub button and tune in. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, the Wayne Breezie. Welcome to the Wayne Breezie Show. Round of applause to all of you guys out there rocking with your boy on his birthday. Today is my 44th birthday, and thank you to all the happy birthday shout-outs and wishes from all the faithful out there, family, friends. You know who you are. I truly appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for making me wake up and feeling special on this beautiful day. And I know I don't see this on YouTube, but I do know that I do have 2 Super Chat contributions that came in early pre-show. Not sure why YouTube deletes these messages, but YouTube, you need to get your stuff right. All right, so I wanted to shout out 49ers_throwback. He is definitely one of the greatest moderators of all time. All right, I wanted to shout him out for his Super Chat contribution. He said, "Happy birthday, Wayne. Have a good time, bro. Appreciate you for the Super Chat." And Peachy Brown, the one and only. Wrong button. The one and only. I can't read it because it's so small. It says, "This offseason is about to be wilder than a church group at a juke joint." Man, listen, man. Church. I know what you mean. I'm one of them church dudes that be at them juke joints, and man, we be going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs with strippers. I didn't want to put that part in there. Let's enjoy the ride, folks. Hashtag the BB, hashtag faithful to the Bay. And I just want to thank you, Peachy, for the Super Chat contribution. Again, thank you guys for those early Super Chats. I'm not sure why YouTube does what they do. I see the happy birthday shout outs from a lot of the members, a lot of the subscribers. Appreciate you 1000%. Now listen, this is what you can do for me on my birthday. Number 1, you hit that like button. Number 2, if you're new, you can subscribe to this channel right here. Man, I got some content I am ready to cook up for you guys. Going to be doing a little bit of shifting, still 49ers content for sure, but I'm gonna be branching off a little bit into the NFL and the draft and things like that, things that interest me with the NFL, draft, fantasy football, all that type of stuff. So it's gonna be right here on the Wayne Breezie channel, so make sure you stay locked in. So go ahead and subscribe. Also, you can become a member of the Breezie Bunch. All right, now let me just tell you, I'm going to be going through these tiers one more time. All right, it's a new year, so I'm going to redo some things. Now, I will say this, there will be a members only show toward the end of every month where I'm going to be doing giveaways for those that take their time out and subscribe and join and become a member of the Breezie Bunch crew. So if you want to partake in those member only shows, you got to be a member of the channel. All right. Also, we know what member perks they get. They get priority. I get to post their comments and stuff like that. So please don't be mad if I don't post your comment. But listen, if you just join and become a member, that comment will get posted up for sure. Also, you just got to click, just you can give a super chat and stuff like that. And boom, I'll definitely make sure I see it. All right, so let's go ahead and get through this, man. Shout out to Christy Marie. She says, "Birthday show. Happy birthday." Thank you, Christy. I appreciate that. 49ers throwback. I was showing you love earlier. Peachy Brown as well. Good. I can't believe it's afternoon. I keep thinking that this is a morning show. When I first started, it was a morning show because I was working at the time. Shout out to my boss, my principal, who allowed me to stream from work in the morning. She was a real one. I miss her dearly. You know who you are. I'm not trying to get you in trouble, but you know who you are. And I miss working with you. For sure. Shout out to everybody on Facebook as well. Thank you for the birthday love, as well as on Twitch and Twitter. All right, Twitter or X, however you want to call it, like whatever you choose to want to call it. I see my boy in the building. Troy, what's going on, baby? Haven't heard from my brother from another mother in a very long time, but it's good to see you in here, man. Thank you for the birthday love, for sure. The Niner Sickness Podcast, I see you out there, man. Appreciate you, brother, 1000%. And again, man, all the birthday love, man. Appreciate you, man. Slick, I see you, man. Look, not really much to talk about when it comes to the San Francisco 49ers because they are in their coaching search, right? This is going to take a while. Now, I am the type, you know what, let me ask you guys this question. They got a coaching carousel going on. They're trying to find an offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator. even though I know we got the offensive coordinator, right? We know who the offensive coordinator is going to be, right? It's going to be Clay Kubiak, right? We know that. Kyle Shanahan already told us. And then he has to retract it and go backwards and follow the league route. So they did some interviews. We know about that. Not going to beat you over the head with that. But, it seems like it's going to take a minute. And I don't know about you, but I want the 49ers to secure these coaches. I was talking to my brother Tony, and it's time to lock in so we can start reloading. It's not a lot of retooling we need to do with this team. We just need to know who's going to be coaching what, and let's go out and enter and attack free agency with a vengeance and, get ready and prepared for the 2025 NFL draft, right? Because I don't know about you, I love the sound of this. I truly love the sound of that. You know what I mean? Like, it's draft time, So soon come, that will be happening. That's in April, but we got a lot of football stuff to take prior to that. And the Niners need to go ahead and figure out who is going to be coordinating for the San Francisco 49ers. Now, the one thing I do love that Kyle Shanahan is doing is he's able to really interview some guys. I think that's the best part of the whole situation. He's interviewing some guys. Now, let's just talk about the defensive coordinator, because I think that's where we will start to shape the defense. I think the offense is the offense, and whoever we get in here as a special teams coordinator is going to be 100 times better than who we've had here. Okay, that's it. I don't care who we get. It could be you off the couch. You could probably coach special teams playing Madden better than Brian Schneider coach special teams. So I trust that. Here's what I'm a little concerned about. We need to figure out who's going to be this defensive coordinator. And as the 49ers continue to search, it seems like their options and their priorities, the guys that they want, like the Robert Salehs, he's being interviewed throughout the league, right? He just got an interview with the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, it's going to be harder and harder, pause, to get a guy like Robert Saleh back in the building unless his heart is in the Bay. And I don't know if Robert Saleh's heart is in the Bay. I mean, this is where he kind of really took off and made a name for himself here. And this is what landed him a head coaching job with the New York Jets. But he did get fired. And, he took some time off and became a consultant with the Green Bay Packers. And now it just seems like he's a hot commodity. And the Dallas Cowboys need a coach. I don't know if they're going to go Jason Witten, Deion Sanders, but now they're interviewing Robert Saleh. Now, I don't know about the money situation. We all know that Jerry Jones is probably looking to save money because he's cheap on his coaches, right? So I don't know if that's a bonus, but I think about the teams that Robert Saleh can go to coach, not coordinate, but coach and have power and have control over the roster and things like that. And the Cowboys, I don't know if he wants to get into it with the Cowboys, Cowboys owner Jerry Jones, but I'm sure he probably may like Jerry Jones more than Trent Baalke. So between the Jags and the Cowboys, we may not get Robert Saleh, ladies and gents. And I don't know how I feel about that. If he goes to the Cowboys, I'm going to be tight. I am. I'm just going to keep it a buck. But he inherits a hell of a defense, right? At least a few players on defense. They do got some key free agents like DeMarcus Lawrence to be a free agent. But they got they got a defense. They got a nice secondary, I think. And they got Micah Parsons, one of the top 5 pass rushers in the league. So it just kind of rings a bell. I can feel Robert Saleh slowly slipping away from the San Francisco 49ers as a coordinator. And the Niners are going to have to start looking elsewhere, and we're going to have to go back to the drawing board, and it's going to prolong the plan of Kyle Shanahan, right? Because the quicker you get the coordinator, you'll know what type of scheme you're running, right? That's the first thing. What type of scheme are the Niners going to run? What do I mean by scheme? We're going to be a 3-4 defensive front. We're going to be a 4-3 defensive front. Really 2 schemes, and then you can do exotic things out of those different schemes. And obviously you mixed up the packages as far as nickel and all those different types of things, right? So that's the number one question. Is Kyle Shanahan looking to get somebody in here that fits what is already built? Or is he going to get somebody in here that he's going to trust to change up some things in San Francisco? And I'm going to be honest, I don't want to switch to a 3-4 at this moment. I think that would be the worst move ever. When you go 3 down linemen and 4 linebackers, the Niners aren't built for that. So now you're talking about a major overhaul in the personnel, the players, another word for players. And I think that would be more difficult. And if the Niners are in contention of competing, getting back to a Super Bowl, like they need to keep what's working right now. They need to keep what's working right now. Find somebody to run the ship, somebody great that can run the ship. You know, they tried with Steve Wilkes. It was working, but it was unorthodox. It was different, right? The philosophy side of football was different. The players couldn't really buy into what he was asking because his philosophy was a little bit different. But the players, the scheme, everything was still the same. So Steve Wilkes was just not a good fit, regardless of how well statistically the Niners defense was the year he was the coordinator. And yes, I do believe he was the scapegoat that year. But then you move on to a guy that's been in the system, and Nick Sorensen. And then it's just like, all right, Nick, you the guy. You're the system fit guy. But he just was new. He was raw. He was bad. He didn't know what to do. He couldn't adjust. He didn't know if he should play man. Should his guys play zone? When do they play it? Like, he couldn't even. Nick Sorensen was so bad as a defensive coordinator. He couldn't even get his players. Okay? He couldn't even get his players to tackle. Now, you help me with that. I'm not going to talk about where the 49ers ranked in tackling, but they were definitely not top 10 from the bottom. Like, they were bad. They were bad. The Niners were bad in tackling. Missed tackles. I don't care who they had on the football field. I feel like every player that makes it to the professional level of the NFL, if you're on defense and you play special teams, you got to be able to tackle. 1,000%. You know what I'm saying? Tanisha, good morning, Breezie, and the Breezy Bunch crew. Good morning to you as well. So I'm just, it's starting to get a little, it's going to get a little spicy. You know what I mean? Like it's going to get a little spicy. You know what I'm saying? So I'm interested to see, you know what I'm saying, how the Niners are going to attack this. Because remember I said on one of these shows, I do too many shows, so I don't know where I said this, but remember I said the Niners, if you found your guy, then get your guy. Don't wait, because waiting can do a couple of things. It can benefit you if it all works out right, but what if, and I think I was referring to Robert Saleh, I said, what if in the wee bitty hour, Robert Saleh commits to the Niners, but that wee bitty hour, that 25th hour, right? He changes his mind because the offer was better somewhere else, and now the Niners are without a defensive coordinator. And then they got to settle. The Niners cannot afford to settle. They cannot afford to settle. End of discussion. They cannot afford to settle at this moment, critical period of time for a defensive coordinator. They must find a coordinator that could come in and coordinate. That's what they got to do. They cannot afford to settle. So who are some of these guys that the Niners are really in on? Shout out to my brother Mike in 20 months as a member. Let's get them horns going, baby. Them horns going, baby. My man Nigel in here, another great moderator of the Wayne Breezy channel. Shout out to all the moderators out there. If you got a wrench by your name, I salute you. Breezy, do you have top 3 candidates? I do. Saleh's 1. Albrecht is 2. Dennis Allen is 3. Those are my top 3 candidates. I'm not going anywhere else. I don't want anybody from Kansas City. I don't want that. They're playing football. I ain't got time to wait on them. I know what Dennis Allen does as a defensive coordinator. I know what Jeff Albrecht can do. I don't care if the Jets defense was terrible after Robert Saleh left. Well, let's just dive into that. Let's just go ahead and dive into that because that's the hot take that, oh, their defense went way down. Well, let's talk about it. They had some critical injuries on their defense, right? Because I don't remember C.J. Mosley playing many snaps, and that's their number one linebacker, right? Sauce Gardner ended up getting a little dinged up toward the end of that stretch of the season, right? And last time I checked, once a coordinator goes and becomes a head coach, it just seems like whatever he was coordinating, whatever was strong on that team, it just seems like it goes down just a little bit. Just a little bit. I just feel like the Jets defense was just a product of the offense not sustaining drives, not being able to score points. Doesn't that sound familiar? Just a little bit familiar. You know what I mean? Just a little bit familiar. So at the end of the day, I feel like, I give Albrecht a little slack, but when he was defensive coordinator, that defense was tough. They struggled against us, but again, you got to look at it, man. Their defense was on the field, I would say 73% of the time, and I know I'm making up that damn number. I know I am, but damn, it seemed like, remember Aaron Rodgers was ass buns. Remember they were beefing on the offensive side. They had to trade for Devontae Adams. Y'all don't remember the Jets? I remember the Jets. Unfortunately, I live on the side where the Jets are on television, and Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback, so they're going to get televised, good, bad, and ugly, and I have a few friends that are Jets fans, and I just remember seeing what I saw, so it was kind of rough, and I'm not giving him a pass. I just feel like he can come in here, won't change much of the system, and those three guys that I mentioned can run the scheme, 4-3, wide 9, right? Who would run it the best if you're asking me that question? Obviously, is Robert Saleh. I mean, I felt like Saleh was the guy that generated the damn scheme. You know what I mean? That's me. Like he got the piece that he needed. They got him the free agents that he needed, and in 2019 we took off. We believed in that defense. Remember, the 2019 defense was so good. We were comparing it to the 2013 defense, right? Right? We're at 2012, 2013. Weren't we comparing it to that? Yeah, that's how good the defense was. And then Bonehead trades DeForest Buckner. You know what I mean? And then the defense went to shits and giggles. I truly believe that. Thank you for the happy birthday shout out to Tanisha. Appreciate you. So those are the three guys that. And don't get it twisted. It's going to be probably some more guys that are going to get open. Listen, Brian Flores isn't going to leave Minnesota as a defensive coordinator to come to San Francisco to be the defensive coordinator. Let's just be realistic. If he leaves Minnesota, he's going to be a head coach. He's going to be a head coach, 1,000%. If he leaves Minnesota, he's going to be a head coach. You know what I'm saying? So leave it at that. I'm off of him. I know a lot of people were talking about the guy from Kansas City. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. He's not a defensive coordinator. Spags is the defensive coordinator, but he'll be coming out of that system. Should he be given a shot? I felt like the Niners were looking to give him a shot last year. You know what I mean? That's what I feel like, But unfortunately, I felt like he, what's the word? He on the Niners. You can't interview for a job. You can't have a team interested in you, and then you go on a podcast and you straight on the head coach. I just think that I would never bring him in. Ever bring him in. Ever. Never bring him in. So I can't remember his name, and that's probably why, but I do know a lot of people have been putting his name out there in the atmosphere. You know what I'm saying? And look, the San Francisco 49ers, like I said, it starts there. This coaching carousel, the coordinating position is going to be crazy. We already know that Clay Kubiak's going to help with the offense and Kyle's still going to run the play. So we don't necessarily need to talk about that. And as far as special teams coach, I just think that the Niners need to give – what's the special teams coach of the Dallas Cowboys? You know what I'm saying? his contract expired. I can't think of his name off the top of my head. I know I posted the news, but there's so much stuff going on in my head. Remember, I'm 44, so I'm getting a little older, and so I don't remember everything. But that guy, I don't understand how he's not getting an interview. I don't get it. I don't get how the guy from the Cowboys, is it Fassel? I don't know. I can't remember his name, but I don't understand how the special teams coordinator of the Dallas Cowboys is not being interviewed, at least by the San Francisco 49ers. You know what I'm saying? So we need to go ahead and kind of like make that happen. They are doing their due diligence. They are bringing in some guys. I actually like the last person, Chris Tabor, I believe that's his name. I actually like that candidate. Why? Relationship with Kyle Shanahan. They go way back to the back like 2014. They go back. They have a relationship. Kyle likes relationships. Listen, our head coach is a relationship guy. Like, okay, we can't change that. We're not going to change who our head coach is. Okay? We're not. That's who he is. Okay? So let him get guys that he knows he can kind of work with. And I think that's what it comes down to, Kyle getting his guys. Like, you know what I'm saying? And so we'll see what happens. He's interviewing guys. Listen, I'll take this new dude, okay, over, what's his name? Nick Sorensen becoming special teams coordinator. I tell you right now. I'll take anybody outside coming in over Nick Sorensen being special teams coordinator. I don't know what maybe Nick Sorensen becomes an assistant coach. Is that a step up, becoming an assistant coach? Maybe Nick Sorensen becomes, that what Brandon Staley is. You know what I'm saying? I would love that. Appreciate the birthday love out there, man. I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much for the birthday love. Listen, if you want to show me some birthday love, how about y'all just click on that join button, become members of the channel. Then I could post your comments up on the screen. You know what I'm saying? It'd be pretty cool. Quick announcement. I'm going to be doing some new stuff right here on this channel. I'm going to be doing a show. Breezie this, Breezie that. You guys remember that theme song? Shout out to my man Lake City on that. Going to be doing a little show. Everything's going to be an extension of this particular show right here, the Wayne Breezie Show. I'm going to really be pushing my own show moving forward. So, don't be alarmed. Still going to be 49ers content. But the Breezie this, Breezie that show is going to be something very cool. So, man, stick around. Once I get it all together, mapped out in my head, I'll give you more information. But it's going to be a show where you guys get to just ask questions via email. And I'll get those questions and I'll answer them on a live show. But I'm still working it out in my head. But you're not going to want to miss out on the Breezie this, Breezie that. Just thinking about it off the top of the dome. I just like to talk. I see a lot of people asking questions, and I want to be able to answer questions as well. So let's get down to what's going on with the San Francisco 49ers. There was a rumor out there, and I want to talk about this, and I'm going to be the most unbiased person ever. You heard? I'm going to be unbiased for the first time. I'm 44, and it's time I stop being so gosh biased, right? I'm going to stop, okay? I promise. I'm lying. I promise, but I'm lying. I promise, though. I did do the Breezie this, Breezie that show on the Patreon, but I'm going to give it to you guys right here on the YouTube. This is where you guys love. Patreon's for other exclusive stuff, but I'm going to bring it back here, all right? So let's talk about Deebo Samuel and this little trade rumor. Now, look, the draft is coming up. So with the draft coming up, there's going to be some rumors. Niners trading this guy. This player might be traded. Blah, 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 blah. All that good stuff, right? Now, it's all rumor-based. Now, I do want to put this out as a trade possibility by ML Football. I know you guys follow this account on Twitter. All right. So, trade possibility. All right, here we go. 49ers receive a 2025 fourth-round pick and a sixth-round pick for wide receiver Deebo Samuel. Now, I want to get y'all thoughts on something like this. Don't change the terms. I just want to know if you will pull the trigger. Pull the trigger. I want to know if this is something you would do. A lot of people are ready to move on from Deebo Samuel. I understand why. A lot of people said he's slow. He's not that guy anymore. He's just not this. He's not that. I'm curious to know, is this something you would entertain? Don't worry about what you're giving Miami. Don't worry about their trio being a Tyreek Hill, Deebo Samuel, and a Jalen Waddle. You're not going to care. Is that a deal that you would accept. All right. And we'll do some hypotheticals for sure, because I feel like that is a slap in the face. Deebo Samuel is an all-pro. I don't care if he's not an all-pro this season, but you're going to give an all-pro a 4th and 5th round pick? Man, you better bump that up. Let's talk about bumping it up, too. Like, you know what I mean? Now, listen, this is not about me liking Deebo. This ain't about Deebo. Speaking of Deebo, happy birthday to Deebo Samuel. Let's throw Deebo Samuel some love on the Wayne Breezie Show. Today's his birthday. That's my twin. Now you know why I have this little, you know what I mean? That's why I go hard for my boy Deebo, man. Like, right? I go hard for the number 1 or the number 19. You know what I mean? I would like Deebo Samuel to consider, telling Jacob Collins, give me my damn jersey number back, and you find another number. Like, I missed the angry 19. I don't know about that. But I see a lot of comments out here, and I'm going to get to those. I'm going to get to some of those comments for sure. I just feel like, number 1, that's a hard trade for me. I'm not because I like Deebo Samuel, but I know what a healthy Deebo Samuel in this offense does when the offense is in full swing, and it's almost like unstoppable. And I need the final year of that. I understand it's going to cost the 49ers $20+ million. I'm all for it. The 49ers can look to walk away from Deebo Samuel if they want, but they're going to eat the majority of that 26. I think they eat like 16, 17 million of that. I don't know if the Niners want to do something like that, but my whole point is I just don't see why Kyle would move on from give a weapon away. Like, it's not like, has Deebo's play declined? Yes, 100%. Has Deebo Samuel declined as a player? I don't think so. I think it's totally different. I think what he was required and asked to do this year was a little bit different than what he's been doing. And when you just don't have your star guys out there as far as your running backs and things like that, your Jordan Masons, your Christian McCaffreys, and then it's easier for the defense to say, hey, they ain't got no running back. If Deebo gets back there, we already know they're going to get the ball to Deebo. Like, it's already telling. I need the Niners to get the offense back so that way Deebo can go back to not being telling. He goes back to being the mystery piece. Right? Because that's what Deebo was, man. Like the mystery of chess boxing. That's what Deebo was. You didn't know what he was going to do. Now, when you don't have certain players back there, you know everything. You know his every move. And you got to figure out a way to relook it. Now, does Deebo have things and flaws? Absolutely. We know he struggles in man coverage. We know he struggles in creating separation. We understand that. But I will say he's gotten better. He took this season to get better at that. And I think the injuries, I think the pneumonia, I think all that type of stuff really hit him hard to where he really couldn't just supersede and shine. Had led the team in drops. There's so many negative things we could talk about Deebo Samuel, but I still reminisce off of the positive. I don't feel like he's a shell of himself. He might have been a shell of himself this past season, but I still don't think we've seen the rest. I don't think Deebo's done. So I don't know if the Niners would entertain a silly trade for Deebo Samuel with the compensation being that low. And if you know the Niners like I know the Niners, here's the compensation again, that the possibility was 4th and 6th, not even a 5th. You mean to tell me you can't even give me a 5th? Yeah, you want Deebo, you got to give me a straight 2nd. Or I ain't talking. Close the book. Shut the gate. You want Deebo? If you want Deebo, and that's the one thing I love about John Lynch, right? Like, John Lynch entertains everything. He listens to everything. I believe he listens to every single offer that's out there in the world on his players. Excuse me. I believe he does. And then he probably sits back and laughs. Because I believe a lot of those offers that they do listen to, but they also refer to, and they say that they do be so damn low that it's just funny. It's just hella funny. You know what I mean? It's just hella funny. Now, like I said, if the compensation was a little bit higher, you know what I mean? If it was just a tad bit higher, maybe there's a possibility that, you entertain it. But that was way too low. Nigel says, I have a feeling Deebo will work hard. Deebo works hard every offseason. You see him. Deebo was having the best the training, like not off season, but like, with the 49ers like in camp. Deebo was having the best camp as a wide receiver, literally. There was no Brandon Ayuk there. Ricky Pearsall wasn't there much because he was dealing with the blue contact jersey and stuff like that. But Deebo was having the best camp probably of his life. I remember them talking about all of that. Like, you know what I mean? So I think Deebo does work hard. I truly do. You know what I mean? My thing is, you're not trying to trade Deebo for a pack of gum and some Now-Laters. Now, if you put some substance and some value into a trade, then maybe you can entertain the trade. That's all I'm saying. Everybody is tradable, but my point is, don't come and hit me with the Deebo Samuel stuff if you're not going to come with an offer that's proper. I think that's what it is. You know what I mean? And let me be first clear to say that I don't want to move on from Deebo Samuel. I don't think he's done here. And here's the thing. He wants to be here. I got a great feeling that Deebo Samuel loves it here. He wants to be here. And I think Deebo is going to have, in his last year of his contract, just be prepared. He may be a restructure candidate. If he restructures, well, that it's just the money, it's just the terms, right? He might take less money, or wouldn't be surprised if the Niners do an extension, lower his money on the cap this year, and they extend him out for another couple of years. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I really think Deebo is part of Kyle's equation. That's a show. I need to do a show. After we start building this roster, I'm going to do a show called Kyle's Equation. Somebody, please jot that down for me, because Kyle has a formula. And when he gets it right, he pretty much damn sure gets it right. So since we're talking about 49er players, and we are in the month of January. Today's the 15th. We're 2 months away from free agency. Oh, it just hit me. March 15th. Around that date, right? Around that date. Might be 13th, might be 15th, whatever. But we're literally 2 months. I'm thinking free agent. We got some time. You know what I'm saying? Man, 60 days going to come and go so fast that it ain't even funny. Before you do that, make sure you hit that like button. Feel free to subscribe. If you're new, hit the sub button. Number 1. Number 2, feel free to become a member. Number 3, become a member of the Breezie Bunch crew. All right, now let's get back to these free agents, because, man, the Niners got a slew of them suckers. Woo, Jesus. Now, the good thing is, I'm looking at the value of the free agents, and I'm like, well, hey, it's a couple of guys that they, like they might, miss. You know what I'm saying? Then I feel like the other 50 of them joints, hey, man, go find some other guys on some one-year deals. You know what I mean? Now, we're going to look at, there's 3 types of free agents, right? 3 types. You got your unrestricted, them the free agents. That's how I look at it. For those that don't know what the word unrestricted means, it means that they free, right? They free and they got their papers, right? They're good to go. Team doesn't own their rights, all right? Their contract's expiring and the team does not own their rights. That's what unrestricted means. Restricted means that their contracts are expired, but the team still owns the rights of the player. Meaning, certain players that are restricted can be placed with tenders. Tenders meaning, if you want this guy, you got to give me whatever I tender him as. So, there are a couple of players for the 49ers that will be restricted. And then you got your ERFA, which got a little different tweak to the restricted, right? They're still restricted, but they've earned their something, whatever. We'll break some of that stuff down a little bit later, but let's just go over some of these key free agents, and I'm going to show you all the guys, you know what I'm saying? And let's go through a list, because somebody can jot down a list out there of who it's like a must bring back, but who's going to be most difficult to bring back with the San Francisco 49ers? And I think most difficult is going to be, the Niners got to make some decisions here. They got to make some decisions. We start at the top of the list, and you can see the free agents here. When you see the UFA, that means that the team doesn't own their rights, and their contracts are expiring. And as soon, hold on, let me just be clear. As soon as the new league year starts, which is the beginning of March, like March 5th or something like that, Okay. So as soon as that new league year starts, you know what I mean? All right. So Tony G says E is the exclusive free right. So we'll talk about that as well. But look, man, there's 2 free agents. I'm going through the list. I see Charvarius Ward. And let's just go through everybody. Is it a thumbs up or a thumbs down? So should the Niners look to bring back Charvarius Ward? Had a down year this year. He's probably, I don't know if he priced himself out of the Bay. Should the Niners look to bring him back just to see if, on a 1 year, maybe a 1 year prove it deal? I'm sure he's going to get other offers from other teams. But is it yes or no on bringing back Charvarius Ward? Just let me know what you guys think. Definitely had a great season in 2023. Had a bad season in 2024. I see some thumbs up for Charvarius Ward. I know Ward is probably thinking about moving on. He said that it's hard to play here. We understand why, and he's probably looking to get out of the Bay Area, out of California to be exact. You know what I'm saying? But money talks. You know what I mean? And Niners might offer him a bank, and it might change his mind. I don't know. Niners might be doing everything they can to support him and his family, so we'll see. But I do know when he was right, him and Lenore, man, it was like lightning and thunder out there for sure. Drake Greenlaw has to be a thumbs up, right, for the San Francisco 49ers. He's only 27, going to be 28 soon. Man, got to be thumbs up for Dre Greenlaw. The Niners defense, to me, I'm okay with the thumbs down on Ward. I understand if we want to move on. I want to see more of Renaldo Green anyway, but thumbs up on Greenlaw. The Niners don't have anybody that can do what Greenlaw does. That's my issue. You don't have a Greenlaw replacement. D. Winters is not a Greenlaw replacement. D. Winters is D. Winters. D. Winters is not Greenlaw. Greenlaw is Greenlaw. There's nobody on there that's Greenlaw. And the Niners, it's going to be tough to find another player that has the same impact as Dre Greenlaw. Greenlaw's an impact player. After I pay Brock, that's the first person I'm looking to bring back here. However, I can bring Greenlaw back. I'm giving him a 3-year deal, and I'm making him happy here in San Francisco. He'll be 30, 31 during his contract expiration date. I feel like the Niners, it's a must to bring back. I don't feel like I don't care. Look, I got to pay attention to the injury history. Ask me if I give 2 flying about his injuries. Well, all I know is he, on the football field, when healthy, makes the defense look like it's Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Like, literally. Like, it's impossible. Got to find a way to bring Greenlaw back and just trust that he's working on his body, getting his body right, and getting his body healthy. And maybe he's going through everything he needs to go through, in this wave of the injuries, and maybe the injury plague for him is just over. It would suck to watch him go to a different team and then turn out to be an all-pro and turn out to finish his career like, you know what I'm saying? It would really suck. Devondre Campbell, I hate mentioning his name, but he's good as gone. John Feliciano is a question mark. I know he's older, but man, when he was healthy, he helped the Niners. Now, there's another guard up here that I think the Niners might like a little bit more, and is younger. So I think Feliciano days with the Niners are over. I know he's on the IR, but I think his time with the Niners is done. They may try to bring him back, but I think it's done. Josh Dobbs, I like Josh Dobbs, but I wouldn't bring Josh Dobbs back. I think the Niners can go out and find another backup quarterback for about $2 million, right? I feel like they can, and I feel like they will. Josh Dobbs definitely wants a chance to compete. And I think the Niners will look to see what they can get out of Tanner Mordecai this upcoming season, who has signed the future reserves contract. And we'll see what happens with him. But I feel like that might be a quarterback that they have already in the stable, and then they might draft a guy or, again, sign a different type of free agent. I know Josh Dobbs. I don't think Josh Dobbs wants to be back. So, like, Ward and Dobbs are two, and Feliciano. Feliciano, too. I just forgot. Feliciano. I don't think they want to be back. I think Feliciano may feel like the Niners did him dirty. He was ready to play. They kept him on the IR, and the rest is history. Kevin Givens, I've seen all I needed to see from Kevin Givens. It's time to move on. Brandon Allen, done. Like, give me a younger backup quarterback at this point. Don't need him taking up $2 million. Demetrius Flanagan-Fowles is interesting because we the players we took we're into the reserves, right? We're into the reserves. Some starters are still here on this list, but we're getting into the reserves. I feel like I'm done with DFF. I feel like the Niners have D Winters and they have Tatum Bethune, and those could be your special teams guys. I'm over Flanagan-Fowles. Like, it's unfortunately he was a tweener guy, safety. They forced him to play linebacker. Blah 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 blah. I'm just over him. I think his time is done. I did post a tweet out there, and my tweet was when Oren Burks made that play, and I was like, oh man, maybe the 49ers re-signed the wrong running back. So let me just give you some clarification, because I realized in my tweets there's not a lot of clarification. You don't get a lot to say anyway in the tweets. So who I was referring to were guys like Demetrius Flanagan-Fowles, Curtis Robinson, who's a restricted free agent. Those guys, right? I felt like Oren Burks, I wasn't saying it because he was a starting caliber linebacker. None of these guys are. Demetrius Flanagan-Fowles isn't. D Winters isn't. None of these guys are, right? But our special teams was terrible. And Oren Burks might have been able to help out our special teams just a little bit, a lot bit better than maybe DFF and Curtis Robinson didn't even play due to the injury. So like that's kind of like who I was referring to. I know a lot of people say he got burnt in the Super Bowl. Listen, only linebacker that didn't get burnt in the Super Bowl was Dre Greenlaw. So I'm gonna leave it at that. And unfortunately, he was injured. Isaac Yiadom, one and done. I'm over him. Don't need him. Glad it was a 1-year deal. And I'm glad he's a free agent, and I'm glad it's over. Aaron Banks. Woo! Aaron Banks. Talk about free agents here. Aaron Banks. Let's talk about Aaron Banks. Aaron Banks' time, I believe, with the 49ers is done. He served his purpose as a rookie. I don't think he was good. I never thought he was a good fit for the San Francisco 49ers offensive line, in my opinion. I see a lot of thumbs down. And it's time to move on. It's time to move on, from Aaron Banks. Like I said, he served his contract. He did what he did. Couldn't finish out the year due to the injury. But Aaron Banks, I just don't see the Niners bringing him back, not offering him a big deal. All right, Khalil Davis, free agent they picked up, or they traded for. I believe they traded for him, and now he's gonna be a free agent. Keep an eye on him. They kept him in, and he didn't get much rotation with the Niners. So keep an eye on Khalil Davis. He did play a few snaps, but I'm curious to see if they want to bring him back on a contract to where he'll be strictly a rotational player. Chris Conley, wide receiver, I think the 49ers move on from him. I think it's time that they start developing Jacob Cowing, obviously Ricky Pearsall. You are expected to get Brandon Ayuk back. They did bring in some wide receivers on future reserve contracts that probably will probably be on this roster or find a chance to make the roster. Maybe Tariq Owens steps up. But I think Chris Conley time with the Niners is done, right? Rock Ya-Sin, I never want to see him in a 49ers uniform ever again. Like, man, he was terrible. Eric Saubert, I just feel like the Niners can do better. And I think this is this, my friends, and what the Niners are going through. They have to figure out where can they be better. Older tight end, didn't really do much. Didn't see a lot of 12 personnel, and when we did see it, it just didn't look good to me. Don't like Eric Saubert back with the Niners. They're going to move on. Pat O'Donnell, I mean, could this be the end of they still got Mitch Wishnowsky on contract, so he'll probably be done. Tashawn Gibson will be done. It's time for him to retire. Charlie Heck was terrible. Don't bring him back to my route. Don't bring him back on this team. Please. Don't bring him back on this team. Please don't. All right? Please don't bring him back on this team. You know what I mean? Please don't bring him back on this team. Kalia Davis, Eric, was drafted by the Niners, not Khalil Davis. Kalia Davis is still under contract. Ben Barch. Remember I told you there was another guard on this list that I feel like the Niners are higher in on? I think we just saw the end of Feliciano. I think they find a way to get Ben Barch back. I do think he got put on the IR toward the end of the season, but I think the Niners really like what they saw from Ben Barch. Patrick Taylor is done. He served his purpose here with the 49ers. He did what he needed to do. Glad he had a great big game. Hopefully he put some good film out there for teams to pick him up. But the Niners got a pretty stable running backs, and they're probably going to draft another guy. Curtis Robinson, you see that restricted there. So he'll be placed with a tender or whatnot. He'll be back, though. He'll be back with the 49ers. He's coming off an injury. Nobody's probably going to touch him. And he'll be that linebacker that will probably take DFF spot, now that I think about it. Jalen Moore, here's another question mark. Jalen Moore, some question marks here, right? Was having a great season of filling in for Trent Williams. And I think he looked like the perfect swing guy. Like he was better on the left side than he had played on the right side, but like he was the perfect supplement this season compared to last season for Trent Williams when Trent Williams went down. I could see the Niners saying, hey, we're going to draft a guy, but I could see the Niners saying, hey, let's bring more back. You know, guys get beat up, they get dinged up. So I could see them extending Jalen Moore. I thought he played well toward the end of his rookie contract. Talanoa Hufanga, another question mark for the San Francisco 49ers. That safety position is going to depend on who the Niners bring in as defensive coordinator. Because whoever the defensive coordinator is for the 49ers is going to probably have the final say in who his safeties are. I hate to say that. I want the Niners to bring Hufanga back, former All-Pro. I want to see him after a year after the injury. I want to give him another shot. You know, he played after the injury, but I want to see him now fully healed from the injury. I think the Niners maybe try to offer him a 2-year deal. I think the Niners bring him back. It's a thumbs up for me on Hufanga. Elijah Mitchell, unrestricted free agent. All right, unrestricted free agent. So, you know, it's going to be tough. I don't think they bring him back. I don't think they need to bring him back. Now, he did spend the year on season-ending IR. I don't know if that changes things up a little bit, but I think the Niners like what they have. I think Isaac Orendo replaces Mitchell. It's the same player, same guy. And I think they draft another guy. And why offer him a contract when you could just draft a younger player and get another and reset the 4 years of the contract? I think Mitchell is good as done. You know what I mean? Couldn't do much for the 49ers due to injuries, and it's time to move on. Now, again, I don't know what that season ending. I don't know if that changes things up for the San Francisco 49ers because he technically did not play a year of his contract. So I don't know if he still owes the Niners a year. I'm not sure how that works, but there's a possibility that he still owes the Niners a year, on his contract. So he, even though it says he's unrestricted, he still may be with the San Francisco 49ers. So we'll keep your ears out. Alex Barrett, here goes your exclusive right free agents. Alex Barrett, Jalen Graham, Sam Okwuonu, Jake Tongas. He could be gone. And these are guys, like these are so like if they move on from Eric Saubert at tight end, I could see Jake Tongas taking that position and stepping into being that tight end 2 type of a guy, being here in the system. I could see him, since they own the rights of this particular player, I could see that happening. Jordan Mason, you see, is restricted. Evan Anderson, Austin Pleasance. These are, I liked what I saw from Austin Pleasance too. I definitely did. I definitely liked what I seen from these guys. So, we still own their rights. I believe here out of this group, I'm offering Sam Okwuonu a contract. I'll give the contract to Jake Tongas over Eric Saubert. Evan Anderson is going to get a contract. I really liked what I saw from Austin Pleasance, but now it comes down to, and this hurts Jalen Moore because of this exclusive rights restricted free agent bullcrap. Will they go Austin Pleasance because they like what they saw from Austin Pleasance when he had to come in and fill in for Jalen Moore due to the injury? We'll see. So Pleasance can be that guy in that place. Nick McLeod is a unrestricted free agent. He could be good as gone because he was ass. And last but not least, I did not talk about everybody's favorite player on here, Jordan Mason. Jordan Mason will be a 49er in 2025. I don't know if there's a team that's going to be willing. can you imagine being, here's what I like about Jordan Mason, right? Can you imagine going undrafted, right? Going undrafted, and then you end up getting placed, and it sucks for Mason as far as his pay and his whatever he's trying to do. Every football player wants to enter free agency. Why? They want to get paid, right? So it sucks that he's going to have to play on a cheap deal one more season. But maybe the Niners see a lot in Jordan Mason and they extend him and they offer him a contract, sort of kind of like following the route of Jawan Jennings. So pay attention to the Jordan Mason situation. I really do like. But the key free agents I would be looking to bring back, I think I'm bringing back Huff. I'm definitely bringing back. I'm doing my due diligence on trying to bring back Greenlaw. He's got to be number one priority after I pay Brock. Like once Brock is paid, all right, Greenlaw, what you need? I got it, man. Got it in the bag. Got it in the bank. Got you. You give me Greenlaw, I'll figure out the rest. But Greenlaw has to be number one priority. We need Greenlaw and Fred for a couple of more seasons, man. We need that for a couple more seasons. And draft a linebacker. And see if Johnny Holland can get D. Winters up to par. Can he get Tatum Bethune up to par? Can he? If Jalen Graham we still own his rights. Will he be a part of this? Like, let's just see what these guys end up becoming. But key free agent that the Niners need to look to bring back, Dre Greenlaw for sure. And I think Talanoa Hufanga. And I think you move on from everybody else. I mean, not the restricted guys, but as far as the unrestricted guys, I think you can kind of like walk away. You got enough exclusive right restricted guys, restricted free agents, ERFA guys. You got plenty of those that I feel like can replace some of those unrestricted free agents. And so you rock out with them and you have them come in here and compete. And then you enter the draft, right? And so what's key for the Niners, they start with their own players, right? They start with their own players, and then they turn to free agency. And the question is, if you want to know how the 49ers are going to attack the draft, the question is, well, what are they going to do in free agency? What are they going to do in free agency? You guys have been the most amazing audience, you know what I'm saying? Most amazing audience. So Niner Faithful wants to know, what's the difference between exclusive rights free agent? All right, so let's get the difference compared. So restricted free agent. Here's restricted free agent. Restricted free agent is a player whose contract has expired with their current team, but the team still has the rights to that player, right? And so exclusive restricted free agent has something to do with like the timing they got signed or something. I don't know. I'll probably be making this stuff up, but let's see if we can find it. Exclusive free agent means an NFL player who's not under contract. Oh, it comes down to the players that only have 2 years of experience. Aha. There you go. So Jordan Mason couldn't be an ERFA because he's been in the league for a few years, right? And so you look at that list, those ERFA guys, Jalen Graham, Sam Okuwanu, Jake Tongas, Evan Anderson, last year was his rookie year, Austin Pleasance. These guys have less than 2 years of experience. So next season, I feel like Alex Barrett has been in the league, but it comes down to those accrued games. I don't want to get into all that, but you got to play a certain amount of games to complete a full season in the NFL. They call it accrued games. Maybe that's why Alex Barrett just is still up there, because this dude is 30. You're telling me at 31 he hasn't played 2 full years or 2 full seasons in the NFL? Possibly not, because, so that's what the EF, the exclusive rights free agent, means. I hope that I was able to explain that. All right, we'll break that down a little bit more on some of the other shows. Yes, Mason was a UDFA. Yes, he was. Would love to see him and get his first contract, and hopefully it'll be with the Niners. We'll see what happens. You know what I mean? And it's a lot. It's a lot for the San Francisco 49ers. You know what I mean? They have to. First it starts, guys, let's just keep it in order. First it starts with them getting their coordinators, right? Got our coach, got our GM, got to get these coordinators. We already know who the offensive coordinator is, who's going to be the special teams coordinator, who's going to be the defensive coordinator. That's where it starts for the San Francisco 49ers. Just to recap the show for those that missed it. After that, that's when they start preparing for free agency. They're already thinking draft, but they have to see who's going to be available. Who from our list do we want to bring back? It's got to be Dre Greenlaw. It's got to be number one. in my opinion. And then you work your way down from there, see what you can get for Hufanga. But you got to remember, these players, all their lives, they play to get to free agency so that they can get the best deal possible. So it's possible that the Niners aren't able to keep Dre Greenlaw or bring Dre Greenlaw back, because there might be a team out there that's going to be looking for a linebacker of Dre Greenlaw's caliber. Now, the only thing to me that hurts Dre Greenlaw is he's in that category with outside linebackers. So that changes. That's the market. It's gonna boost the price up. Linebacker is a linebacker. We know what outside linebackers do on 3-4 defenses. They're edge rushers, right? We know that. But that's gonna hurt, because I believe Khalil Mack is the #1 unrestricted free agent on defense this year. So he's going to probably be the one that's going to set that price, and then we'll see what happens after that. So what a great show. You guys are a great audience, man. Thank you so much. Don't forget to check out our sponsor over at Residency, man. Use the promo code SFBreezy. You can save on your total purchase today. They got a good sale going on. Hey, man, shop on my birthday. Buy yourself something for my birthday. You got to buy me anything, you know what I mean? But buy yourself something. Just go to residency.com and use that promo code, all right? I appreciate you guys, man. Love you, man. Keep it faithful to the Bay always. And until the next time, man, we'll be back. More 49er content, man. Keep it locked in right here on the Wayne Breezie channel. Peace out. Thank you all for your support here on the Wayne Breezie channel. If you're new, make sure you click on that subscribe button. Don't forget to smash the like button and check out the other videos. Thanks for watching.